45 minutes or so.
Hey, we're on. Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Mike on a Platter. And we got a special guest tonight. We do. He really doesn't need any introducing, but you know what? The fact of the matter is that he's been on the show before.
No.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you guys, if you go into our archive of recordings and chums and all that stuff, you will see AJ Weiner is in there. Okay? So, without further ado, I want to introduce this guy. Okay, he requires a proper introduction. So he is an LA native. He has been in the graphic arts and print industries for over 3 decades, producing everything from blockbuster feature film campaigns to album and book art for the likes of Bob Dylan and Neil Young. He is also a music producer, engineer, a manager, and a published songwriter for Warner Chappell Music and BMI. He recently started his own internet radio station. How long ago was that?
We're into our 3rd year already, which I can't believe.
3rd year. Okay, and that's Radio KAJW, and he's broadcasting internationally on Live 365, so go check it out. He's been known to tout that he has sung backup on a Ringo Starr record. Ooh! And you can follow AJ Weiner on Twitter and Instagram. So, AJ, thanks for coming back on the show.
Guys, I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Get your favorite drink, because here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Click
Woo.
cheers. There you go. Wow, what are we drinking here tonight before we get into the subject?
This is Heaven's Door.
Here, let's grab that bottle and show it.
Bob Dylan's whiskey.
Yeah, get it out there. Heaven's Door.
There it is. The
Nice.
bottle's beautiful. You can't really see it.
That's a neat bottle.
His sculptures.
No, you can see it. You can see it really good on that screen.
I don't
That's
know
good.
if you know this about Bob, but he, besides being a painter, he also does sculpting.
No kidding.
And the sculptures are part of the art of the bottle.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about a few things besides our typical rabbit hole stuff that we like to do. One of the big things one of our big subjects tonight we wanted to talk about, Adam brought it up, AJ brought it up, and he said, hey, got a great idea. Let's talk about how music saves people's lives. And I thought about that, Mike. You know what? Wait a second. That is a great idea, because we get so caught up in all this political BS that's going on and all this this conspiracy stuff that's going on, and every now and then we got to take a little break and remember to focus on some positive stuff. And I think that this is a very positive thing to talk about. I know that music saved my life, and I think I wrote you, right? I wrote you a couple songs that saved my life. After my brother died when I was 20, 2 songs that got me out of my depression that probably would have ended up with my own demise was from Joe Satriani, actually. 2 songs, Flying in a Blue Dream and I Believe. And those 2 songs, I got the disc, the little CD that had those 2 songs on it, and I would play it over and over for so long. It was like that was my go-to medicine to get through it, and it made a difference in my life.
Awesome.
So
I know both of those tracks. He's an amazing guitar player.
Oh yeah.
Super spiritual guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what I wanted to somehow wanted to string that together. I use the Music Saves Lives hashtag a lot on my Instagram, and it's meant as a spiritual energy. It sounds easy, right? But there's a lot into that, and then you just made it crystal with that story. That's a perfect story on one of the most important events of your life, and how I think the main thing, and I'm not super articulate with this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. People say it. they know it, that music can affect them that way. But for some reason, it's not looked at as important as a religion or meditation, you know? And it is. It can be for sure. Certainly for musicians, it is.
Oh yeah.
And I think, you know, when a lot of people, you know, I don't know, thousands of music interviews, they always ask, you know, when did you know that, you know, you were going to be a musician, you know? And I think every musician that's gone somewhere would probably say that music saved their life at some point. And I think when you have that connection, that's sort of what puts you over the top. It connects you with it in a different way than just, you know, the general public listening to music and sort of taking it for granted, I think.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I like to think of music as medicine for your soul.
For sure.
It's you know, when you're ailing, when you're not feeling well, if you need, like, you need to get some anger out, or you need to feel sad or whatever, or you need to just go wild. There's going to be a
Cannibal Corpse.
There you go.
Or Slayer.
Right. There's gonna be very well said. There's gonna be some kind of music to entertain that emotional need that's inside of you and soothe your soul and be like medicine for your soul, basically.
So since you guys are big in music, how do you feel about today's music? Today's rock, today's pop. Is it going anywhere? Is it doing anything for anybody? Like, what do you think about Billie Eilish? Kind of artist, Ariana Grande.
It's funny that you brought up the one. I would say that I'm probably controversial on the Billie Eilish conversation. I dig her, you know. She's obviously super talented, but she's young. You know, it's easy for me to say that because I've been around. I'm old, so it's easy for me to say that. But, and this is another thing that I wanted to say tonight that I've been thinking about the last few days is your perspective on music when you're young is a certain way, and as you get older, songs that meant something to you when you were a kid and you listen to them again and you have a completely different perspective on it. You learn about yourself that way. It's like a little journal, kind of a subliminal journal that you're keeping, and you don't even realize it, right? Because you make this emotional connection at a certain age, and then you do the same thing later, and you can remember exactly how you felt. At least I can. I think most people can, when they were 9 years old and heard that song. And I just had this, a record that I just got inspired to get by my girlfriend, who I believe, have we gotten any live chats yet? No.
Not yet.
Okay, well, I think she's watching us.
Hey, you guys, feel free to chat it up if
Melissa,
you got something to
hi.
say.
Yeah, ask him something.
Melissa comes from Alabama, and there's an
Alabama?
Alabama.
Alabama!
And there's a band, an Alabama band called
Of course there is.
Sanford and Townsend Band. And they had...
Isn't there an Alabama band called Alabama?
There is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They're one of the most successful bands in the history of music. They have, I'm pretty sure they're like top 20 record sales of all time. Maybe
that's
even
crazy.
top 10. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'm pretty sure they are. Anyway, Sanford and Townsend Band is from Alabama, and they had a hit song on their first record called Smoke of a Distant Fire. And she brought it up in conversation. I was like, God, I love that song. I'm going to go look and see if I can get that record. And I found a great copy of it and got it. And I've been listening to it the last few days. And the perspective I have on it is my record collection and this collecting hobby that I have keeps rewarding me in ways that I never knew. And this was one of them where I remember listening to Casey Kasem's Top 40. I don't know if you're...
Oh, yeah, I think I was young, and I remember Casey Kasem.
I know Jorge wouldn't know.
And now,
The kid that he is.
from the backwoods of America.
There you go, right? I remember waiting for the song to come on because I loved it so much. And when you're, I was 12, you can't buy every record, right? So you wait for the songs to come on and tape them on cassette. And I remember waiting for that to record it. And so it dawns on me that I'm 12 years old and I love that song. So I get this record last week and I put it on and I listen to it and it sounds incredible. And I'm taking in the lyrics as a 56-year-old, man with a lot of heartbreak now in his life. And the lyric is completely different. And it's one of the most heartbreaking freaking lyrics ever. But the song is like really upbeat. And, I think it fits into the yacht rock. I don't know if you've heard that genre term.
No, actually, first time.
So yeah, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, when the economy was happening and everybody was coming off of the summer of love, a lot of music happened that was super soft rock, and it turned into, as the 80s progressed and the 90s came around, they branded it yacht rock, right? So all these rich people.
Duran fans, or
I wouldn't put
that's more like
it's new wave.
New wavy.
The yacht rock is like Steely Dan.
Okay, yeah, Steely Dan.
The biggest, the number one song that probably started yacht rock is Christopher Cross Sailing.
Oh yeah, Sailing, right? Of course, Sailing.
Because it's
takes
right.
Me away,
right. So people are playing that on their yacht, whatever. Anyway, Smoke
Hey, YouTube, don't flag us for that, okay? I was singing it. I was just singing it, okay? You guys need to relax.
You know what?
Okay?
They're not going to know that you were singing that song.
Oh, yeah? Are you going to cut it out?
No, I don't think you're
I wasn't
you
even
didn't give
close.
enough. And plus, I think you
I was a 30% change, I'll have you know. Hey, so what were these lyrics you were talking about? What was that one piece of lyric that was like the lyric?
You want to pull that up? Because I don't know them offhand, even though I've heard the song 300 times. It's called "Smoke of a Distant Fire."
Well, while he looks that up. Yeah.
Lisa's on. She said, "Adam, you inspire me with your music."
There you go.
Oh, that's really nice.
Terry,
what a compliment.
Wensley said, "Looking good."
All right. Thanks for saying.
You're
hi,
a handsome man.
Yeah.
You handsome devil.
What was the name of the song?
"Smoke of a Distant Fire." And so point is that it's weird that I can feel what I was feeling as a 12-year-old, and I could understand the heartbreak of the song, but nowhere like I can at 50,
Hang on a second. Give me the password real quick, Jorge.
Oh.
I don't know if we're doing our audio recording. Sorry. Hold on for just a second. Another little technical difficulty.
Can I read the lyric while you're doing this?
Hit record. Let's go. All right, there we go. Can you fix that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, as you were.
So here's the lyric. "You left me here on your way to paradise. You pulled the rug right out from under my life. I know where you're going to. I knew when you came home last night, because your eyes had a mist from the smoke of a distant fire. Lord, I was stung. Should have seen it coming a long time ago, when I realized the reality gave me a role. If things are the same, then explain why your kiss is so cold, and that mist in your eyes feel like rain on the fire in my soul. The lying and crying is upsetting and getting you nowhere. It don't stack up, so slack up and pack up. I just don't care. Don't let the screen door hit you on your way out. Don't you drown when you dream your boat runs onto the ground. I just like to know, do you love him or just making time? By filling his glass with your fast-flowing, bittersweet wine. He'll taste the aftertaste when you come home late some night with your eyes all a mist from the smoke of a distant fire. Girl, your eyes have a mist from the smoke of a distant fire." That lyric is killer. I got goosebumps reading it.
Having a flashback?
Well,
Little bit?
these guys. So I'm a published songwriter, as you said. So I've written over 200 songs, and the craft of that lyric kills me. That's what gave me goosebumps when I was reading it. What I was referring to about the perspective of a 12-year-old to a 56-year-old on that lyric is I couldn't, at a 56 with all of the love and loss that
Let's
I've
look at
had.
that again.
I couldn't believe that the 12-year-old in me felt it, even though I had not lived that at all.
That was your future self telling you.
Right?
Yeah, there was like
Right?
a little
Totally.
multi-dimensional warp there.
Totally.
That where the AJ that existed in the past, present, and future was able to align. Did you guys see that movie Soul?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it
Dude,
yet.
you gotta watch that. When one of the things that they show there in that spoiler alert. So plug your ears if you haven't seen it already. One of the scenes in there is when musicians get into their jam state and their flow state when they're playing in their music and they're deep into it, they can actually go into the spirit realm, and the spirit realm has no time. So it was.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm definitely want to watch that.
It was a great little.
It's got great jazz.
Although it's on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
I just canceled Disney Plus.
Well, you got to get it again.
I don't,
God damn it!
I don't think so. I'm done with Disney Plus.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Your
I'll have to.
And you're boycotting because.
Maybe I'll rent it or I'll steal the password from somebody else. And
Okay.
watch
There
it.
you go.
All right.
Well, they've Disney's. Come on, man. The whole ABC, ESPN, Disney thing is just so twisted and corrupt, and it just grosses me out. Look, maybe somebody online will back me up on this. I've been saying that Mickey Mouse is the Antichrist since I was, I think, 13 years old. So this is nothing new
Get
for
into
me.
this one. Let's hear what's going on here. What's going on here? What's this?
Wait, can I say that on YouTube? Are we in trouble now?
I don't know. Are they going to flag us?
I don't know. I hope not.
Again?
I say that with just fun and love. Filled with fun and love.
Right here. Right here.
Should we talk about all the things I like about Disneyland?
Yeah,
I
let's
love
start
it.
with that.
I love the haunted house. That's
Yeah, the haunted house is cool.
great. And Tim Burton, I love Tim Burton. I love all the stuff that he's done with Disney. So there's a lot of good. But anyway.
Well, it's not to totally take away from where you're going.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think
okay.
we explore a lot on this show
Yeah.
that when a large idea or concept becomes an institution, which Disney has become an institution, it becomes a large, tremendously large animal that has to feed itself to survive. And it will feed itself in any way that it can to stay alive and fight for its survival when you got an animal of that magnitude. It will do anything it can to stay alive.
The product is hypnotizing forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's indoctrined, I don't know, billions of children. So the power of it is mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
The art of it's mind-blowing. The early movies are cutting edge. Dumbo is still one of my favorite movies ever. The original Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. The music also,
the scores are amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing score writers.
Yeah, and musicals, right? I mean, a lot of them, like Jungle Land. There's a lot of them. Fantasia. The music is super important, and it's exposing children to amazing classical music. So there's a lot, obviously. There's a lot good about Disney.
But hey, before
Yeah.
we get into the bad Disney, let's jump on this music saving lives thing again.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to drive that point home before we drift down into the rabbit holes.
Well, I think we could always
The Alice
come
in
back to
Wonderland
it.
holes.
I come back to it every week. I put a record on and hits me at the right time. Whatever. I'm having trouble
changes
with
your mood,
something.
changes your perspective, changes anything.
Yeah.
It flashes you back 10 years to how you felt 10 years before. I mean, what a crazy gift,
I'd like to put this out on recording
Okay.
to have it out because it was such a big deal. And the first dog that I ever bought with my own money, the night that I put him down was one of the worst nights of my life. And that also is just like, can you really say that, right? I know that obviously dogs are a huge part of our lives, but like I've lived through a lot of crappy stuff. And for that to jump out at being one of the worst nights of my life is kind of, I don't know. There's something about it that seems, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. First world problem, right? It's a first world problem. Yeah.
Okay.
And he lived till he was 14. I mean, he lived a great life. He was the king. I called him the California king. Anyway, the night that I put him down, I literally felt like my whole world was effed, And I remember like going to Bob Dylan, World Gone Wrong, because that record has, and I've said that on this show before. We've talked about that when you were telling me what's the one record that you pull out of your record collection. That's it. That record it continues. Like if I ever really go way low and I need something to help me, that is it. That's like a magic record for me.
Is that the only one?
No, there's a bunch. The Kate Bush record, 50 Words for Snow.
Yeah, I remember he mentioned the Kate Bush.
Talked about that too. Yeah, that record is that record's magic. It's magic. I literally cannot put that record on, and it basically just stops me in my tracks, and I automatically meditate. It's a magical. It's a spell. She casts a spell.
Oh yeah, that's good music. We'll cast a spell on you.
Yeah.
Hey, what not to take away from that,
No.
What was the story you just told recently? Was it you just told it earlier about someone was gonna jump off a bridge, commit suicide, and a lady pulled up in her car and rolled down the window and started playing the radio, and it stopped that person?
No, that was me.
Was that Rachel, my daughter, who just out? Somebody just told me that story.
Wow, that's a good one.
Maybe that's the future self.
No.
Hopefully not.
So you should tell the story. That wasn't me.
Maybe that was my daughter when she came out. She said, "Oh yeah, I heard a story about some lady played a song. She
I wonder what song it was.
pulled on the bridge and she rolled down her windows
Did
and she blasted
you
a
tell
song."
Rachel that's what we were going to talk about tonight?
No.
Oh, I know. I mean that music saves lives.
Maybe I did.
Interesting.
When I'm trying to put this all together, yeah. Wish you would step outside that ledge, my friend. You could.
That was probably the song.
Cut ties with all the lies you've been living in. Throw that blind.
Yeah.
That's a band that we all agree on is great.
Oh yeah. No, they wrote some good songs.
You don't like that guy's voice, do you?
No, I like that band.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't collect their albums, but whenever I hear their music, it's like it's feel good music, man. It gets you going.
That
they
record,
touch your heart.
That record, Blue, right? Is that what it's called? I think.
I don't know.
That record for a good, I don't know, month, definitely saved my life. I love that record.
Yeah.
And when I say saved, right? I mean it's that meditation thing of just inspiring you to go on in a positive way, right?
Yeah, it changes your frequency in your head.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is? 311 or Third Eye Blind?
No, that's not close for me.
They're different.
But
yeah, they wrote some awesome music too. 311.
Okay.
I was like, I love that band. I had a lot of their albums.
Sublime or 311?
Ooh, tough
Sublime
one.
for me.
Tough one. They're both like up there for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Sublime was California, man.
Yeah,
Sublime represented
is
SoCal.
local. Yeah, it's local.
They represent the LBC and Long Beach and all that.
Yeah.
Where's 311 from?
I want to say they're from somewhere in the Midwest. I can't remember exactly where.
Minnesota?
Wisconsin or Minnesota. Oh yeah, eh? Oh, you betcha. You better believe it, eh? Oh, you come over here and give me the kick.
Well, what about you, Adam? I mean, who's your favorite rock band?
I'm wearing this shirt tonight. Can you see? Stage Fright.
Stage Fright. Okay.
It's an album by The Band. And The Band is one of my favorite bands. The Beatles are my favorite band. The Band is probably my second favorite band. And I'm a huge The Who fan as well.
Okay.
Those are my top three.
You like the Rolling Stones?
Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey.
Yeah, Rolling Stones are huge. That was a little later in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had a funny. I was going to tell you guys this story about like the first song that I remember affecting me, and it was the Beatles. It was "Let It Be." My dad was doing working for Capitol Records, and doing album packaging for them. Production, like helping get the album package together with the designers and everybody, and then turning it into print. Basically, what I do now.
Hey.
Yeah.
What an irony.
Yeah. He's the one. He gave me my livelihood. My dad. I think he's watching. I told him to comment. I think he's watching. Hi,
Okay,
Dad.
like in real life, not from heaven.
No,
like,
no.
Still
He's
alive,
here.
Dad's still
Yeah,
alive.
my
Okay.
folks. We're actually.
What's up, Dad? Thanks for
we're-
tuning in, Dad.
We're actually on Zoom.
Y'all done good now, Dad.
We're-
You got a good boy here, Dad.
We're actually on
Does your
Zoom
dad have a
time.
twang? Does he have a Western voice?
No.
Okay.
He has a twang from the Bronx.
I'm making this up because we have no idea as we're learning about AJ here, and he's telling us where
He
he's
says
really from.
dog,
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
coffee.
water.
Yeah, he has a twang.
Hop in your car.
No, that's
No.
Boston.
That's Boston.
Yeah.
Hop in the car. You're breaking my hat.
We're actually on family Zoom time right now. You guys have interrupted my family Zoom time.
Oh.
Hey, Dad, thanks for giving AJ
Yeah.
up for a family
We,
Zoom time. Sorry.
Listen to this. Since March of last year, it's a year that, right, when the lockdown happened, my sister, brother-in-law, and me and my folks pretty much every night have Zoomed for a year.
Nice.
And it's been, talk about saving your lives in the beginning of that whole thing, when that was going down for the first 3 weeks where we knew nothing what was going to, when we were flattening the curve.
Yeah.
Flattening the curve.
When that was happening.
Straightening the hills. Ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
I actually
Flattening the curves.
had COVID in
Dukes
March.
of Hazzard. Did you?
Yeah. I went to Tame Impala.
Yeah, you were licking the handles of gas station
went to go see Tame Impala?
convenience
Yeah.
stores, weren't you?
Oh, you listened to that?
What-
I'm curious. What else do you listen to?
So there you go. That to your comment about is there good music
Yeah.
now? Absolutely, man. There's so
Yeah.
much good music now.
And by the way, I like Billie Eilish. I like what she's done.
Yeah, I do
What
too.
has she done?
I guess
She's pushed the envelope.
Which is?
She hasn't. And that's.
You're going to argue with me on that
I'm
one?
not gonna argue with you.
wanna
Let's
know.
go, right now.
Exactly. What's so special about
Has
this
anyone
girl?
gotten in a fight here yet on Mike on the
No,
Platter?
I don't
No,
think
not
so.
yet.
Has anyone cried yet on Mike on the Platter?
I want to see something cry. I
Yeah.
hope it's
I'm
her.
in, man. I'm in.
I
Yeah.
might. No, you know, I think what she's done is she's actually she's kind of stuck it out there. She took that cerebral kind of trancey music and then put her little twist on it with her partial singing, rapping. It's kind of cool. You
I don't
know?
think she's a bad artist. I mean, she's super talented, but I've
she's
given
a
her
good
so many
she's a
chances
good stage
and
person.
tried to like her, but I just can't.
Oh, Jorge.
What you can't listen
Yeah.
to her
I'm
tunes.
not your
Why
friend.
not? You don't want to
Okay.
be her best friend. She might
So that's
cry
my
black
problem.
blood from her eyes.
That's
and
my
then
problem with her. It's a little posed, right? It's a
No,
little
she's
posed.
she's like a David Lee Roth, you know.
But she's young, exactly.
She's a
Well,
frontman.
well,
front woman.
wait, though. Hold on a minute, dude. Wait a minute.
I didn't say
And
she
this
is a. I
no,
said
no,
like
but-
it. She's
but this
she's
is-
a front woman.
And this is what I was talking about my
She puts
record
on a show.
collection continues to enlighten me in ways that I never realized it was going to.
You're
Right?
gonna put a Billie Eilish vinyl right next to your David Lee Roth.
I
see it
bought
now.
the Billie Eilish vinyl when it came out. I have a limited edition white vinyl because I knew
Nice.
it was hot, and
And you can
people
tell
were
everybody
buzzing.
about your vinyl fetish.
I do. I have,
You have a total vinyl fetish.
I do.
There you go.
The dungeon.
Put him in the dungeon right away.
By the
straight
way,
away.
I got a box of vinyl before I showed up. I was leaving, and it was like a gold mine of vinyl. And I was like, I can't believe I have to leave my house right now.
Oh no!
But it's okay. I kept saying it's okay. Jorge and Eric are at the other end. I haven't seen them in a while. I gotta go hang out with them.
Man.
Don't be such a recluse with your records and your dogs. Go out and have some fun with your friends.
It is my box of vinyl.
Oh my God, it's huge. And so I collect old vinyl, and these were records from the 70s mostly. I don't think any of them were in the 80s. They're pristine, and I got them for great prices. And I couldn't believe how beautiful of condition they were. They're usually not like that. So it was like a gold mine.
Did you get these from John Worsby?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's right. He's not in that business anymore.
I wish I would have known the store.
No. He bailed on it.
He bailed on it already.
How do you know? You heard?
Yeah, I talked to him recently.
How's he doing?
He's good.
Okay, good. What's he doing?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Wow.
He's an international man of mystery now.
Okay.
Yeah, now see now that.
Well, that's the whole point of
wait,
freeforming.
Wait, yeah, but I want to close that Billie Eilish.
Okay.
Why? What the problem
yes,
is?
put that little tramp to bed already.
And it's not. It's
with
not
all the vinyl.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. That's all it is a wise old man saying, just everybody take it easy with Billie Eilish.
Yeah, so take it easy, okay?
I don't think she's Amy Winehouse. Like Amy Winehouse, there was something about her, even though she was sort of copying older vibes from the 40s and the 50s. There was something about her that was super authentic, even though she looked completely put on, right? And there's something about Billie Eilish, I'm not so sure how authentic it is. That's all. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I just want to wait. I want another record. I want the green hair to kind of go away a little bit. And that's the thing. And I saw her performance at Coachella, whatever it was, a couple of years ago, and it was freaking awesome. She was awesome. She delivered. But I just from a I'm not ready to deem her the next Kate Bush.
I'm curious, how does she sound?
Well, I'm certainly not there
because she doesn't really sing. She's
right. Well, so that's the one thing that I would say came across to me, where I was like, it was a little posed. That's what it seemed like. But she sounded great. She was on key, and she was, it was all, she does her little talking thing, and the crowd was going nuts. I mean, it was great. So, I was impressed. But I just there's a little guy in the back of my head that's usually right, and and I just say that just from experience, that I've felt this before, and I'm usually right. I was wrong on Amy Winehouse. My initial reaction to her was she was a poser, and then she won me over. My daughter loved her like right out the box, so this is what I wanted to say this, where I've got this library of music in my head that I compare everything to, right? So when I hear somebody like Billie Eilish and they say how great she is, and I'm like, well, she ain't Billie Holiday, right? And because they got the same first name, right?
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
when you get a big backlog of music in your history as you get older, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like
you have a comparison.
You have benchmarks.
For sure.
You have benchmarks.
So it's easy to get, especially for a young kid, like Billie Eilish is selling, millions of records, and Taylor Swift to young kids. And you can see how they're, flashy, and it's like they're like Disney.
Well, they've latched onto the program, basically.
For sure.
They've latched onto this is how you sell records, and this is how you get yourself out here, and here's the formula you follow, and you have to push the boundaries, and you have to be like Madonna, and push on things, and take risks, and you have to be extravagant, and this come across like this unique artist like Janis Joplin, and you have to be all these things to be appreciated and sell records.
Let me stop you there. Suzanne Merchant says, "What's up, Adam? Gotta go to work, damn it, but what's up?"
Oh, let's go to work. Can't you watch us at work, Susan? Susan Merchant, buddy from Texas. Are you not? You don't have to wear a mask anymore, right? you're maskless. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Susan's from Texas.
Nice.
Lisa's in Alabama. Terry
Who else?
Wensley,
Who else is looking
Huntington
restricted?
Beach. My buddy from Huntington Beach. Taylor Swift, another, obviously she's one of the hugest stars on planet Earth, right? I totally cannot listen to her anymore.
I can't either.
And I thought,
Wait, what did you think about her country music?
I loved it, and I appreciate her. She's super talented. I saw her live. It was great. The show was great, but it's just really put on.
Yeah, give me some.
And there's a fine line for me between putting on a show and delivering from a more spiritual place. And I'm sure I'm sure her fans would argue that she's spiritual. Anyway, so it's this is another thing of what's so great about music, right? To each his own.
So who?
Thanks.
I mean, what artists nowadays? Today.
Well, Tame Impala, Kevin Parker is brilliant. Oh, I wanted to make this point, Eric, about when you said the David Lee Roth thing. You know this. Van Halen they played
Kendrick Lamar.
1,000 shows. Van Halen played 1,000 shows before they got a record deal. They were basically pros by the time they went in the studio. So there's a real thing about being a band and being in the same room and playing off of each other. Those guys played off of each other. That's a whole different energy. People would argue about Billie Eilish because she's with her brother, right? Mm-hmm. So they've grown up together playing music. How old is she? Is she 20 yet?
She's probably 21. So
she's basically she's got her retirement and her kids' retirement, her grandkids' retirement, her uncles and aunts and sisters and second cousins.
But her brother and her have probably been playing music for 15 years together. So they're pros too before she even gets.
What do you think about the Biebs?
I don't know who that is.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, the Biebs.
Are you a believer? You're a believer.
I thought you said the Beeps, and I'm like, oh, the Beeps. That's a good band name.
I heard a funny Justin Bieber story. Actually, he went into a bar somewhere in I don't know in the Dominican or one of those Caribbean islands, those nice foo resorts. So I may be totally butchering this story. I may not have my facts straight, but the essence of the story is correct. Okay, so he goes into a bar and he sits down and I think it's George Harrison. He's sitting there at the bar, and he goes up like, "Oh, hey George, what's up, bro? Hey, what's happening?" George just kind of looks at him and then looks away and keeps drinking. Oh, come on, man, what's up, man? Bro, come on, man. And he's like, "You ain't nobody to me.
No way.
You're just a wannabe."
No way.
And continues drinking. Yeah, some shit
no
like
way.
that.
George no Harrison? Way. No way.
That's what I thought. I think I remember the story going something like that.
No way. I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Look it up. Let's see if there's a George Harrison disses Justin Bieber story.
That's bullshit. Who's George Harrison? Come on, stop it, Jorge. You're serious?
I know who he is, but I'm just saying for the people who don't.
Oh my god.
For the Gen Zs that are watching.
What? No, everyone knows who George Harrison is.
No, old people know who George Harrison is. Come on, AJ, come on.
Well, there's Jesus here.
Oh my God.
Then right below that's Bob Dylan. And right below Bob Dylan is George Harrison.
Come on, baby. From Liverpool.
George Harrison was the guitar player for the Beatles. The lead guitarist for the Beatles. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. George is my favorite Beatle.
I like Beatles too. Not Ringo.
I love all the
Ringo
Beatles.
Starr.
I love all the Beatles. Even Paul. I love you.
Paul, how you doing, Paul?
Yeah.
I've got a hole in my pocket.
Paul was amazing in the Beatles. He was you could say that he was producing the Beatles. I don't think he gets enough credit for producing the Beatles because George Martin was there. But Paul was co-producing the Beatles. So he's a huge part of the band. Besides, he wrote all the songs. Besides that. George Harrison wrote some of the best Beatles songs. He was the interesting thing about George, for all the Gen Z people out there that don't know about him. So John Lennon and Paul McCartney were writing all the songs, and George was trying to get his songs in there. And they didn't think they were that good. You know, they were like, oh, they're not that good. But when you listen to him now, it's possible he wrote the best songs in the Beatles when you listen to him now.
What do you think about Elvis?
Elvis Costello, man, I love Elvis.
Elvis Presley or Elvis Costello?
Elvis Presley?
Either one.
Elvis Presley is one of the greatest thieves in rock and roll.
I was going to ask you what you thought about that.
He's one of the greatest
I remember
thieves.
Ray Charles said the same thing.
Look, this is a rock and roll helped me come up with this line that I used to say a lot more, and I haven't said it often. But the world would be a better place if we were all blind, right? Think about that. Think about all the talented people that are blind. How they
Stevie Wonder.
They go to a different level, right? They have like all their other senses kick in, and they go to a different level.
They can hyper focus,
right? And especially with music, there's an amazing amount of blind musicians that are, top of the heap. Stevie Wonder is one of them. I feel that part of what's that sort of weird line that Taylor Swift is too much one way, right? Is the visual part of it is such a huge thing where it gets your heart going, and it's the sales part of it, right? The sales pitch. And Elvis is a great example of that. Now, he had a great voice. He did have a great singing voice, but he didn't write any of the songs, which also that's not that important. When you're a great singer like that, you can interpret anybody else's songs, make them their own, and make them better. And he did that. He took songs and brought them into popular music and exposed white America to black America in a way that never happened before. And he was very, as he got older, he and the Rolling Stones, the Beatles did too, but the Rolling Stones and Elvis are the most famous for going back to the black artists that they were taking the music from and exposing what they were doing. They really tried to help a lot of the black artists. Keith Richards was huge in doing that for Chuck Berry and Muddy Waters. Mick Jagger was a huge Muddy Waters fan. And Elvis did that too. There's a great R&B singer named Junior Parker who came from the blues, and then they tried to make him a pop star, but he got onto a minor record label, so he never really had the push of a major label behind him. But Elvis, there's some cool pictures of Elvis standing next to Junior Parker. I've become a huge Junior Parker fan. Steely Dan is another one of my favorite bands. They're not really a band. They're
two studio band, two guys. Donald Fagen.
But that is one of my favorite artists, and Donald Fagen got me. I'm always that's another thing about my record collection, and the more, the older I get, and the more I listen to records and start putting the chronological date of when things happen, I start learning where people are getting their art from, right? Because nothing's original. It all comes from somewhere.
It's empirical.
It is.
It's a pyramid.
There's
a solid foundation.
Yeah, you bring your own soul to something that was before that inspired you and turn it into something new. But it really is coming from somewhere else. And the more studying you do about that, the more you realize you kind of get a little disenchanted sometimes. Like Led Zeppelin is a good example. You ever see that movie? I forget the name of it. It's with The Edge, Jack White, and Jimmy Page. I think it's called Play It Loud or something. I don't remember what the name of it. It's a great movie about those three guitar players. And in that movie, Jimmy Page plays an old blues record that inspired Led Zeppelin. And it sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin. And when you hear it, you're like, because you always think that Led Zeppelin is so original and it had its own thing. But they like basically, and Page was the producer of the band. He lifted this vibe and injected it into the band. And then they, it blossomed into other stuff. But it's a little disenchanting when you find that stuff out where you're like, oh man, I thought they were super original.
Well, you know what? You're actually talking about a phenomenon.
The movie's called It Might Get Loud.
It might get loud.
It might get loud.
There we go. You're
Great
talking.
film.
You're talking about a phenomenon that is actually it plays into the whole concept to me of standards. Okay, so like, for example, jazz standards. Okay, there are certain jazz songs that are just, it's the song, Girl from Ipanema, whatever it is. And different jazz musicians have picked up the song and played it, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, whatever it is. Whatever song it is, there's songs that have been played generation after generation after generation. It's the same song, but it's a different version of the song. And like when songs get picked up by newer generations and played, and it makes them famous, and everybody says, oh yeah, that song by such and such a band, but it's like, oh no, that was originally performed by the Doors, or before that it was performed by whomever. So I think the point being that it's hard to say what's really truly original.
All
and there's
art.
very few very truly original bands out there. And I'll tell you what, one band that really comes to mind to me right now that is very few people have ever sounded like or will ever sound like is Primus.
That's a good one.
That Les Claypool and that band are so avant-gardely uniquely out there and original. How many people sound like Primus?
I'll throw this out, and I don't know this, and I have some Primus in my catalog, but I'm not a huge aficionado. But I would say like it's progressive rock, right?
Yeah, it's
So
progressive
you gotta
and
like
very highly stylized in a very original way.
which they're definitely Beatles fans for sure, because Les Claypool and
Yeah,
Sean Lennon.
Yeah, he's a Beatles and Rush and Geddy
So
Lee Rush.
so
fan.
that's what I was going to say. Like Rush and ELP and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and those bands, and like King Crimson.
Oh, King Crimson, holy mama.
Okay, so there's bands in the late '60s and early '70s where Les Claypool was listening to.
Sure, or even Frank Zappa,
And
So-
Zappa, for sure, Zappa.
Yeah.
So anyway, there I just shot you down.
No, you didn't shoot me down away, because I doubt
He's not
there's
crying yet.
anything that
What's going
came
on?
from Les Claypool that sounds exactly like Frank Zappa, or sounds exactly like, because nobody was playing bass guitar like that.
That's not true either.
Okay,
How about Bootsy Collins?
okay, Bootsy Collins, yeah. Okay.
I think he's the originator of the slap bass. I think, maybe
Slap
not.
bass, yeah, but not like the way
No, and
the
again,
way Les played it was
yeah,
a little.
look, he's a genius. He's a musical genius. So he definitely has taken it, to a different level, which is that's the thing, where I don't think Billie Eilish is even close to doing that yet. She's not. She's great. She's talented. She hasn't taken her art to a different level, and
Yeah.
I want to see her do it.
So there's two scenarios there. There's the scenario that is anything really truly original,
no.
and then there's a scenario of as an artist, can you craft your own style and sound enough that you become not only a dialect but a different language.
And I said no flippantly. As soon as you put it through your blood and your soul, it's original. Even if you play a Bob Dylan song, right? I mean, that Bob Dylan's a great example of how many different people have covered Bob Dylan songs, and there's
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
generations of people that know Bob Dylan songs from other artists and don't even know that Bob Dylan wrote the song. The most famous one is
And that's what
Adele.
I'm talking about, the generational thing, like with the
Yeah.
jazz standards. A lot of people don't even know where some of those songs even started. Some of them started in the 20s.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing too, where you have the singer songwriter.
1920s.
which is an important part of music. But then interpreting vocals like Elvis or Linda Ronstadt, or Adele writes her own songs, but I was just thinking of the Adele Bob Dylan song, which most that turned on another 20 million people to Bob Dylan that didn't even know who Bob Dylan was, probably. The singing is the most naked form of music, and that is the most original thing that you can do.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out of
It's
someone
not a
else's,
confined note. It has vibrato.
right?
And
But everyone's different.
Yeah,
Every human is different.
And every frequency is slightly different in twang and sound and the characteristic and the fundamental of the notes coming out of your mouth.
And I would say that's what's good about Billie Eilish. She doesn't sound like anyone to me. She definitely has her own sound, that's huge. That's super soulful. For not for you and me, and I'm not listening to it to soothe me, but there's millions of people that are.
He's like, I'm not your friend.
I just think about all night. Will I cry black tears from my eyes and then?
That's. Go ahead.
The song that you said that Red Hot Chili Peppers covered, that was originally a Bob Dylan song. What song was that?
Hang on, I'll pull it up.
It was from I'm that generation. Sorry.
It was from Uplift Mofo Party Plan.
I should know that.
Hang on.
That's kind of crazy that
I have that record, and my band opened up for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Cool.
Nice, dude.
At a small club before they were. I think they just got signed when we played with them.
Oh, do you like rap?
A lot of it I do.
You do?
Yeah.
What rap songs or rap artists?
Well, Run DMC was, definitely shook me. That changed my life. So that would be the first rap artist that was like, oh, this music's great.
What about the original stuff that sounded almost disco?
Well, Run DMC is pretty original. That's pretty close. Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel. Mm-hmm. Those records definitely, that was also something that flipped me out. I would argue
Subterranean Homesick Blues.
There you go, buddy. And
it was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't get it.
I was just going to bring that up because that arguably is the first rap song.
from Bob Dylan. Yes, yes. Bob Dylan was the first rapper to rapper. Donnie's in the basement making up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. Man in the coons can't cap on the big man.
So that's probably the first rap song I heard that I loved.
And I think Anthony Kiedis did a pretty damn good job of rapping it too. They funked it out.
I got really into trip hop. I love Cypress Hill, and then
why? What do you like Cypress Hill so much?
Well, back when they were happening, I was making records with my band, and then whatever. I was making, I was writing songs and making records, and their records from a production standpoint jumped out. Like all the Dr. Dre stuff, the production was awesome. That was the other thing from a guy coming from like writing my own songs and then all of a sudden realizing, oh, you could sample someone else's song and turn it into your own track. That was like a weird thing to digest because your first instinct was like you're freaking stealing somebody else's song. So it took a while to get over that. And Cypress Hill was really good about being original. They would make their own loops, and their sound was super original.
Who's the genius behind
that? There's two of them. I can't remember their names. I've seen them live twice. I can't remember their names.
Hey,
they're great.
Who wrote that song?
Also, local band.
There's a new song, Lucid Dream, that came out, and it's part of a Sting song from 10 Sumner's Tales.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite records ever.
The Shape of My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new song out. It came out a few years ago, like Lucid Dream or something like that.
Oh, that's...
Who is that?
Who's this guy recently?
What?
The one that says, I see shadows.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, what's that guy's name? I don't.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull this shit up.
Everyone was so bummed about him, and I was like, I don't even know who this guy is.
But anyways, my daughter was playing it, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh, sweetie,
it's
yeah,
like Juice
that's
WRLD.
Sting. There you go.
A lot of people saw Juice WRLD as the future because everybody who worked with him said that he was extremely knowledgeable. He was a genius. But in his music, I mean, he wasn't really at his full potential. But they said when you spoke to him, he knew anything about everything.
Juice WRLD passed away.
Yeah.
From an overdose.
Yeah, so he was pulled over, I guess, in his private jet, and instead of taking, the rapper having illegal drugs inside of pills inside of his plane, he just swallowed them.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna tie that when you asked me what was about Cypress Hill.
Illegal drugs and rock and roll are hand in hand.
So I was smoking a lot of dope when Cypress Hill came out, and it sent
420 motherfucker.
It definitely sung to me on a different level than everything else was.
Do you have a picture with Bun B?
No.
That would be awesome.
The other band the other life changer was the Beastie Boys.
Dude, Beastie Boys.
Those guys.
Oh my God, those guys changed hip hop forever.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, dude, you got these two white ass.
3, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.
Three white ass, Bronx kids. Come up with this crazy avant-garde rap, hip hop, punk rock fusion thing, and
their story is
insane. I just read it recently, and it was like
it's complicated.
Mike D and
Rick Rubin was a huge part of the beginning.
Yeah.
But they fought hard to become legit musicians, which is what's so great about them.
And when people finally went back and looked at their catalog over the years and said, "Oh my God, look what these guys did."
Yeah, they're brilliant.
The world was blown away when they finally realized, wait a second, these guys carved and stamped themselves into a legacy of rap hip hop.
You got to watch their Broadway show. Do you know that they did that with Spike Jonze, who directed it?
No.
You definitely got to watch that. It's great. And it basically tells the story of that band. It's very truthful. And you get a good sense of who they are.
What about Eminem?
What was the movie he was in? 8 Mile?
8 Mile.
I didn't really jump into him right away because I have a foul language problem with rap.
Sometimes it's a little bit too much.
Right?
It's like,
I didn't like the misogyny.
Let's turn down the flow a little.
That's funny you say that because a lot of people are trying to cancel Eminem because of all his shit that he used to write. But at this point, it's like,
that was another thing about Cypress Hill that jumped
right.
out. Cypress Hill didn't go down that road. They were really good dudes, and they were talking about political stuff and relationships, but not in a misogynist way. And so that I really responded to that a lot. So anyway, that was the first thing that turned me off about Eminem. But then as I got to know what he was about, and his skill was brilliant, absolutely genius, and his lyric writing is genius. So then I became a fan. of him. And
later in his career?
Yeah. Later in my life, listening to his records, his early records. But I even his modern stuff is cool. I dig him. I mean, I think he's a great, which all great music, and Dylan changed this about rock and roll, the Beatles too. It's a mirror of what's wrong in the world, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, it's more truthful than the media is. That's one of the brilliant things about Dylan. When you go back and you look at all of Dylan's interviews in the '60s, it could be an interview in 2020.
Yeah, the narrative is the same.
It's exactly the same. It's him basically telling the media that they're full of crap. And it's like, that's freaking 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So that part of Eminem of just mirroring society, and that's priceless. Ice Cube is like that. Ice T. I loved Ice T.
Oh yeah.
That was another one where he was nasty, but there was something about it that was truthful to me.
Yeah.
So like NWA was like that. Public Enemy was like that to me. There was a truth to it that was like okay.
Ice-T with Jello Biafra from Dead Kennedys. Those two.
That what was that band? What was the band they were in?
The Dead Kennedys.
No, but didn't they do like a project?
They did.
Together?
They did a. No, Body Count was another one that came out.
Oh, that wasn't
after,
with
but it wasn't with
Body Count.
Jello,
Is what I was thinking of. I love that
did a
record.
collaboration with Dead Kennedy.
Yeah, with Jello Biafra.
What?
Yeah. It was. As a matter of fact, both of them were on Oprah. Remember Oprah?
Mhm.
Is she still around?
I don't know.
Anyways,
Didn't George Harrison and Oprah date at one point?
I don't know. Did they?
No,
dang.
I'm just kidding. That was my.
Oprah and Eminem did.
No, but they had Ice-T and Jello Biafra on when they did that collaborative on Ice-T's album, and they were talking, and the PMRC was on there. They were the governing body that put the little explicit lyrics on labels and all that stuff, and they were all arguing about, what's censorship. What is censorship? It's funny. Vince was on here recently, and he's been banned off of every platform there is.
That guy, man, that was great that he was on the show. He's something else, man. Did you ever read the comments underneath his videos?
I've read some of them.
Holy smokes. The stuff that guy deals with we're talking about Vince James, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, Vince James.
He was on a a Platter episode, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
And it's
we love having him on. I love talking to Vince. He's so driven and so
I'm
into his shit.
by him.
Totally.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
man!
talk, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get to have him on again, because
No, he's coming back in a couple weeks.
I have to, and I got to look for. I haven't done this yet, and I want to. I wonder if anyone's interviewed him. He's got. I want to know more about him, like his education.
Oh, dude, he's told me some crazy stories, because we went out to Vegas. We drove to Vegas one time to do a trade show back when he was still working. When he was a wager, as he puts it, earning wages. And he told me some stories about growing up. I think it was in Chicago or something like that, and running the streets and all that stuff.
I wore my
stories.
Trash Panda hat. This is about as political as I get. I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
it's got like a little. That's the
Let me see.
Huntsville. It's Rocket City Trash Pandas, and I see Lori Mitchell said hi. She's in Alabama, listening from Alabama.
Nice.
And this is kind of my ode to Vince, because his red elephant hat, right? Or
Yeah,
did
right.
he wear the hat?
He did.
He always wears
it
his
in
apparel. Yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten close to getting that hat, but I got to be honest. I don't. I'm still sort of digesting all of his angle, and I don't know if I agree with everything that he says. But he's incredible. He's an American hero, I think.
Yeah, no, he does his homework, and that's the thing I appreciate about him. You know what? The scariest thing about what he does is a lot of the facts that he gets are straight out of government websites. This is actual government reporting.
What's happening right now is we're seeing it. Crowder is another one, Steven Crowder. These guys are becoming, and what's the other guy? Project Veritas, right? James O'Keefe. These guys are becoming the journalists, the true journalists.
Yeah, they're going out and
they're actually doing the research
Yeah.
that the media doesn't do, because that's not what they're about. They're about
sensationalism.
and propaganda.
And propaganda.
They're paid by the powerful.
They're paid by Disney.
That's one of them. Yeah, but Vince is that I've been since that show, and I've watched him before that show, but and then he just did the APAC. I don't know if you knew that, but he was he's part of it's called First America. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. anyway, the organization that he's in, he's surrounded by a lot of people that I really look up to. So anyway, I've been watching more of his stuff recently, and I started reading comments underneath the.
Oh yeah, please do share. What are these comments?
Oh my God, man! The crap, the racist, bigot crap underneath his videos. It's just amazing.
Well, he does attract a certain angry demographic that's just wants to point fingers.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with It's not a problem. It's a.
It's a symptom.
Inherent, right? Symptom of conservatism is that you attract all this far right kook. You know,
that gets too far right.
Yeah,
where they just want to be isolationists and white power and all this other
it's
crazy stuff.
It's horrible, and I can't even imagine.
Actually, it's brown power. The power to Jorge and his peeps.
What?
No, we go back and forth on this all the time.
Anyway, there's a lot of anti-Semitic stuff underneath.
Yeah, I know that stuff's ugly.
Brutal. It's so brutal, and it wakes you up to like, you know, he's got to fight against that because obviously he's not that, but it's just brutal to people that follow him. You know, a lot of the people, or I shouldn't say a lot. There's a minority that's loud, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be that. Whenever you have a hot topic, there's always going to be people that get extreme about it and start.
Anyway, the next time he's on, ask him more about his life. I want to know more about him.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do like a candid with Vince. Hey, who's Vince?
Yeah, man, I want to know more about him because he's fascinating.
I should have asked those questions because I had some questions.
Hey,
what's your history like?
You haven't lost your chance, buddy. He's going to be here.
Good. Next time, man. You guys have an opportunity.
He was voted as one of the top 10 most scary people in Orange County and the OC Weekly like 2.5 years ago.
Whatever, man. People are waking up, dude. We've talked about that.
No, I know.
We're in the middle of the awakening.
Woke culture.
Yeah, that was one of my not the woke culture, like the Karens of the world, but like the woke culture, like the people that are like, wait, hold on a second, time out.
How far past Karen are we now? Like that's so old news.
It's
right?
not. It's still around.
Well, not. I feel like it's not part of the top of the.
Well, it's not a pop culture topic anymore.
It was hot for a while.
It was hot for a while, but it doesn't mean it went away.
It's like, well, I just think it's bigger.
Talk about it.
It's just a piece of the puzzle. It's so
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I have another question for you. John is it
John Denver?
John Denver?
Yeah.
Or John Lennon?
Well, John Denver's a country,
completely opposite.
folk, and Beatles is the classic rock.
I would not call John Denver country. I mean, he
more folk than
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a pop star. He was a huge pop star in the 70s. He turned his thing into huge commercial pop. I happen to be a huge John Denver fan. I
always saw him as a little bit country.
You can't say, Jorge, you can't ask anyone this ever again, John Lennon or John Denver.
Okay, what about Megadeth or Metallica?
Oh, okay, I see where he's going with this. You got to play along, AJ.
I'm gonna go Metallica.
Agreed, Metallica, hands down.
But I like Megadeth too. They're that's a pretty original band, Megadeth.
The Police or U2?
Oh, that's tough.
Can't pick.
Yeah,
both.
AC/DC or Kiss?
Not even
close.
close.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm a huge Kiss fan. Kiss changed my life.
Black Sabbath or Deep Purple?
Black Sabbath. I like Deep Purple too, but Black Sabbath is they changed the music business also.
Okay. That is all.
That's all you got? Dude, that was fun.
That was fun? You like that?
Yeah. Okay. Come on, Fo. Give me some more.
John Lennon or John Denver. I'll never forget that.
I know. Yeah.
Did I say?
I'd say John Lennon, Paul.
Did I say AC/DC?
Or Kiss? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like AC/DC's great, but Kiss that's like that's the Beatles part 2 for me.
We saw Kiss. My wife and I saw Kiss about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. They did a thing, and I was like, yeah, I think I know a few Kiss songs. And I'm thinking about, dude, I knew every single song that they played. Man. I was like, holy shit, these guys wrote like 18 hits.
Yeah, they got a lot
like
of
top
good
40, 16 or 18 top 40 songs. It was crazy.
And
they did the whole show with the face paint and the blood coming out and the whole damn thing.
Kiss pushed me over the edge as far as wanting to be, a musician and make records. I wanted to make records after I heard Detroit Rock City at 13 years old.
Rock and roll all night. Yeah, have you ever heard the stories of Rush and Kiss touring together?
A bit, yeah.
Dude, I watched. I think it was
the Rush documentary.
The Rush documentary, and they talked about it. So the Kiss guys and Rush, they kind of got along, and they're touring together a lot. So we talk about two totally different vibes. Kiss is just like party and face paint and blood, and let's do a rail off a hooker's ass, and the Rush boys were like, oh well, let's have an intellectual conversation about that, so the Kiss guys would
did they corrupt
parties.
Them?
I think they tried to a little bit, but they get together after a show in their hotel rooms, and they'd be all of them would be blazing up together, smoking and pot, and then
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about not all of them. Not all of the Kiss guys were.
Well, not all of them, but anyways. The point being is, they'd have a little pre-party, and then the Rush guys would kind of excuse themselves and go to their rooms, and the Kiss guys would party all night long until like the wee hours of the morning.
Two of the Kiss guys.
Yeah, it was the
Ace and Peter.
Yeah, it wasn't Paul and it wasn't Gene.
Well, I think Paul did a lot, but both of them were a little bit.
They were
more
more
on the straight
business.
and narrow.
Yeah, they were more on the business side.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that the guys would be lights out at 12 after reading their books in their hotel room by themselves, and the Kiss guys would just party,
they couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah, right.
Hey guys, we're trying to get some sleep.
Yeah, oh my God.
What other Jorge? What other new music do you like? What about? Do you think rock and roll's dead?
I think so.
Really? Wow.
Well, I haven't really done the research or really looked into new bands that are out, and I haven't really taken the time to find the good bands.
I'll give you one that is my favorite new rock and roll band. They're called Wolf Alice from the United Kingdom, and she, like that band, is what I want Billie Eilish to be. They're not even close to me. That Wolf Alice is so much more of an artistic expression, and the singer is, I think she's spectacular. So, but we're definitely in a lull, that's for sure. I keep waiting to see who's going to show up, because the country needs rock and roll.
Right?
I'm 30.
You're 30, and you've stopped looking for new music.
No,
I didn't stop looking for new rock until I was 45.
Yeah. Well, it's just a little hard because growing up in the '90s, and I just have this playlist of acoustic '90s and all this '90s music, and it just nothing sounds like that. And like how you said, Primus sounds unique. Always go back to Primus when everything's starting to sound the same, because I need that. It's like
Alice in Chains, Primus. Tool.
You're not going to hear much from a radio station, right?
Chili
like
Peppers,
K-Rock
Incubus,
or all, but all 98.7. But when I put K-Rock on, Billie Eilish is on, and it's like it's not rock. What the fuck is she even on here? I have to wait until Sunday.
It's been a few years since I've turned K-Rock on. What are they playing these days?
Like, no, you don't even want to tune in, dude, because I don't even listen to it.
Is it just the same old?
Jorge,
is it just old?
I think you should listen to Radio KAJ.
Yes,
I will. like
you need to go back and get some old
I always
stuff.
Go
Get
back,
some old
I always
stuff.
go back to my playlist, and my playlist consists of R.E.M., The Smashing Pumpkins, Primus, The Wallflowers, Goldfinger, the Mighty Boss Stones.
Yeah.
Bare Naked Ladies, Weezer, even Sugar Ray, Soundgarden, The
Sure.
Proclaimers, like Stone Temple Pilots,
Mhm.
Everclear. It's like all
Got
these
good
bands.
taste,
that
bro.
I'm like, man, it's like I can go back to this playlist
I think you're
over
gonna like.
and over
I
again.
think you're gonna like Wolf Alice.
Wolf Alice.
I think you're gonna like them.
Do you have Mudvayne?
You said you like Tame Impala.
Dude, Mudvayne is awesome.
I do, and I do have a lot of Tame Impala.
What
here,
about
but then
Queens
after,
of the Stone Age?
Oh yeah,
they're okay,
Queens of
yeah,
Stone
I like
Age.
them.
So it's happening. Obviously, COVID put a crush on rock and roll.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
you can't.
There's a couple of great punk bands right now. One's called Idols, IDLES. Look them up. And Fontaine's DC from Scotland. They're amazing. So I don't think it's totally dead yet, man. I'm waiting for someone. Someone needs to break where like Nirvana broke, and then everybody kind of followed Nirvana, right? They were all doing it.
Oh.
Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, they were all doing
Yeah,
it at
yeah.
the same time. But Nirvana took it to a different level, and everybody kind of went with them. We're looking for some star to make a big noise to help rock and roll
Nirvana?
resurface.
Nirvana or Blink-182.
Nirvana.
That's almost as bad as John
Green Day
Lennon.
or No Doubt.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with. So I got a Green
Green
Day
Day.
problem. Want to hear my Green Day problem?
Yeah.
Green Day's another band where when they happened, if you were my age, you're like, this is not original. They're freaking ripping off the Clash and,
Yeah, right.
and whatever else.
And turning
Or
it into
the Jam.
poppier.
Yeah. Now, he's another great writer, Billy Joe. What's his name? Armstrong. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
remember.
Billy. Billy
And
Joe.
and super expressive singer, and the band was tight. They were great.
Welcome to paradise.
But for a guy like me, when I listened to it, it sounded like a pop band. It sounded like I don't know, the Bay City Rollers to a guy like me. So it was super pop for me. But anyway, what was the question? Blink?
Blink
Oh
182.
no, No Doubt.
No Doubt.
No Doubt.
Or,
I'm gonna go with No Doubt.
yeah,
Also local
yeah,
favorites.
Local favorites.
And I'd much
Totally.
rather go on a date with Gwen Stefani than Billy Joe.
Old Gwen Stefani or Gwen Stefani now?
Either one. I think I like.
How has she changed?
Well, she's
She's
married.
just
Isn't she married to
Pop.
what's his name?
Tupac.
Blake Shelton. Are they
Tupac,
married?
Tupac. Yeah, Blake Shelton.
Yeah, so I can't go out with her.
Incubus or Rage Against the Machine?
Oh.
Rage Against the Machine.
Incubus.
Oh,
And
whoever
Rage.
was
No,
making
you know what? Both of them. Both of them.
I'm a
Like,
big
that's
Tom
too
Morello
hard.
Foo Fighters or Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam.
I'm gonna go with Pearl Jam.
All right.
Foo Fighters were hanging in there until their last record.
Yeah.
Talk about that. That's like that was not a good move for rock and roll when that Foo Fighters record came out. The new one. It's fun. It's entertaining, but it's not lasting, and it's really pop.
It's too bubblegum.
It is. It's bubblegum.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. The Smashing Pumpkins or
Whoever the second choice is.
Oh.
9 Inch Nails?
9 Inch Nails. Also, life changer for me. 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, my wife is a huge 9 Inch Nails fan.
9 Inch Nails changed
Really?
music.
She is?
Oh yeah. She has like 6 CDs.
Those records changed the music business.
My
For
English
sure.
teacher in high school was so into them. Oh my
I
god!
don't-
And it just made me feel like uncomfortable because you're in high school and your teacher's like jamming out to 9 Inch Nails.
And you're like, ew.
And you're like, oh no!
Ew.
I don't know if you can have.
Right.
I don't know if you can have Nirvana Nevermind without 9 Inch Nails, because I think 9 Inch Nails, the production on that, influenced Butch Vig and Nevermind greatly.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, a little insider
Trivia,
there.
little insight.
Yeah, it
My
was
opinion.
funny.
In
One-
my humble.
Once upon a
opinion.
time when K-Rock was like really hot and Adam Carolla was still on there, they were talking about, I think it was Love Line.
Oh, I love with Psycho Mike and Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew, yeah. So they were talking about it, and they were talking about how, imagine, Trent Reznor. Just give me a little splash if you don't mind. So that's good. So Trent Reznor, hey, imagine him, deflowering your daughter, in the most. And Adam Carolla was talking about. He's like, God, can you just imagine that? I mean, he would be deflowering your daughter in the most ghoulish way.
I think Trent Reznor, I think he's a good guy, and I think it was all show business.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of it was.
I think Nine Inch Nails was show business.
He just had his box in the corner with a gimp in it, you know.
Those guys, Attica Ross and him, brilliant producers. They've done a lot of soundtracks, you know, those two guys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lot.
ZZ Top or Ramones?
Ooh, now that is, that's like U2 and the Police for me. Like both of those I need both of those.
Journey or Motley Crue?
What are you getting at?
No, I'm making it up.
That's
I'm
good.
doing it
That's a good one.
Dude, Motley Crue.
That's a good one.
Journey
I'm gonna
or
go
Motley Crue?
go with Journey.
Oh.
I can't stand Motley Crue.
Dude.
Why? Oh, hold on. I want to know what Eric.
Well, I like Motley Crue because all the hot, crazy strippers were after him. Yeah, I know, totally.
And what about the
But
first
Journey
one?
wrote some serious love songs.
Or what about the first one I said? ZZ Top and Ramones.
ZZ Top and Ramones. Tough one again because hillbillies rocking it, you know.
If you would have asked me that in 2019, I would have said the Ramones hands down. But during 2020, I watched the ZZ Top documentary and got really into them. Sorry about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Here to serve.
And got really into them and realized how great they are. They're a great band. So there you go. I think I personally, I don't know, man. The Ramones they're so great.
They're legends.
They are legendary.
Total legends.
They've you probably can't, like Green Day. I'm sure they were a big Ramones fan. I bet.
Nothing to do, nowhere to go. I wanna be sedated.
Journey, Steve Perry, one of the greatest vocals ever.
Dude, totally.
A lot of people hate him, but I think his vocals are great. You know, a lot of people, whatever. Men hate him. Girls love him.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Yeah.
What was the name of the song? She took the midnight train going anywhere. Stop.
Is that the one?
Believe
That's the
it.
big hit.
Yeah, that was the one. I remember when I was a kid listening to that and
Didn't they have one called
First,
Stone in Love?
real
Wasn't that
big
one of the
kiss with a girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I might have slowed
To
down
that
to
song.
Journey
Yeah.
in high school.
All right. Grateful Dead or Avenged Sevenfold?
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead or Kings of Leon?
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead or
Hey,
Alice in Chains?
Kings of Leon
Alice
just
in
came out with
Chains.
a new album. I haven't
Alice in
heard it,
Chains.
but somebody told me they came out with a new album.
Alice in Chains or Muse?
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains or
Muse is an interesting band.
The Cure?
Oh, that's a tough one.
The Cure for me.
Cure?
Yeah, The Cure did something special. They did something special.
Is this like? Never mind.
This is like music
Get
flashback,
in trouble.
Hall of Fame in our own
Get in
minds.
trouble. Well, what new music are you listening to, Jorge? That doesn't have to be rock and roll. Anything you like that's new? Turn me on to something new. Oh,
man, I don't have anything brand new. I mean, Tame Impala has just been the band that I go to when nothing else sounds good or when I haven't discovered anything. But honestly, I haven't really done my homework.
That was the last show I saw before
they're
the
great.
lockdown. It was great.
And then I go down the Tame Impala rabbit hole, artists that sound like Tame Impala. And then I discovered artists then in that genre.
Do you know Temples? You heard of them?
No.
They're great. That's another UK band, new band that I think is great. They're played on Radio KEJW. Tame Impala is on Radio KEJW. Nine Inch Nails is on Radio KEJW. So is ZZ Top. So is the Ramones. Journey is not. John Denver, I don't think is, and I should have him on. I should get it. John Denver.
I want to check out Tame Impala. I don't think I've heard him.
Kevin Parker has produced a lot. He produced Lady Gaga. He's great, amazing songwriter. He also did with what's his name, Mark Ronson, the producer who worked with Bruno Mars. Kevin Parker's done stuff with him. He's done a lot of other stuff other than Tame Impala. That's it. So nothing new.
Nothing, honestly.
Nothing. Sad.
Well, and there it is. That's music for you. Sometimes it goes through lulls, and sometimes it needs a movement to inspire it. And I don't think anybody is really clear on any movement right now, other than the underground that's pissed off at the political system as status quo and the elite that's screwing us left and right day after day. I
think the world is in the right spot for somebody to show up. Right now.
For sure.
I think it's gonna. I pray for it to happen. I do. I want it to happen. It hasn't let me down yet, so I think somebody's gonna pop. It's gonna be another earth-shattering. I don't think rock and roll's dead, man. The energy is just.
Yeah,
it's too important. People still get off on it, and like when you see a band like Pearl Jam, still, it moves 40,000 people. So does U2. I've been seeing U2 recently, the last 5 years, and their shows are still amazing. And you got 20,000 people in the arena, out of their minds.
Yeah.
Tame Impala.
Tool sells out arenas 3 days in a row.
Amazing band.
In 15 minutes, and
right. He's great.
Their cheapest tickets are $180 or somewhere around there.
Chili Peppers.
I can't compare the two.
I
can't because I love both of them.
Pick one, Eric.
You?
I got to go with Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's a sentimental favorite.
I know. For me, Red Hot Chili Peppers got me through high school, but Tool got me through college.
Oh my God. Pick one.
Eat a dick. Sorry. It's not happening. Can't do it. Well, you guys, I think it's been a wonderful evening of talking music and talking about how music saves lives. And I'll tell you what, the fact that we're still talking about music goes to show how it's influenced and saved our lives.
I'll keep hopefully I get to come back and we'll talk about some more normal Mike on a Platter chat, because I love all the alien
conspiracy.
I love all of that stuff that you guys talk about. I'd like to just sit here and listen to you guys do one of your shows.
Well, the next time you come in, maybe we'll do our.
Well, you can come in when Guy and Vince come in.
Oh, dude, that would be a show.
They want to come in together.
That would be a show.
I definitely would be. I can be an audience member.
Oh yeah, or you can join in. I mean, we had when Bone Daddies was here.
Yeah, how many people do we have here?
5 of us.
Yeah.
5. 1, 2, me, Mike, and Paul.
That would be 5. We share a mic, but whatever.
I got my Bone Daddies vinyl, by the way. I'm getting ready to spin it and promote it, and then promote the show that we did on Mike on a Platter. I've got the audio. You gave it to me.
Yeah, that was like 5 or 6 months ago.
We're going to broadcast it on Radio KAJW finally, because I got the vinyl finally showed up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Real quick, what's that over there? Books.
I brought you guys some presents.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet.
We can
open them up.
You want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Let's open them up real quick before we say
live reaction.
Live reaction.
I brought one each of a book that I produced.
Look at that. It says Eric.
Oh.
Red Hot Chili Peppers or Tool.
Yeah.
This is a Bob Dylan, The Collected Single Sleeves. This is one of the proudest moments of my graphic arts life. Jeff Gans designed this, who's Bob Dylan's main kind of archivist designer. He's done all the bootleg series. And this book goes in the Telltale Signs bootleg series, which is my favorite of the entire bootleg series. I love that record. And I produced this book, which is, as far as I know, what's so cool about it, it's basically this guy's 7-inch single collection.
Wow, that's a serious collection of old posters and
Well, no, it's
pictures
all
and-
7-inch single sleeves,
Is
and
that
it's
what it
the
is?
history of his career. So it's one of the few books where you can see him turn from a young kid to the modern day Bob Dylan at the end. It's really a beautiful
Hang on,
picture
let's
book.
do a quick flash of that in front of the camera.
And I was fortunate enough to produce this book for Jeff and Columbia, and I
There's some
personally retouched a lot of
serious stuff in
these
here.
images. These 7-inch sleeves were all like torn. Some of them had tea stains and phone numbers written on them, and I retouched it all out.
Yeah, the album covers are crazy. There's some Japanese ones and all
I have
kinds
it,
of stuff
and
going on here.
it's one of my favorite credits. I actually got to thank you.
This
on
is
that.
a beautiful book.
So I gave
Who'd you make it? Where was this made?
Color.
Primary color.
No, color. No, we did. Primary Color did do a Bob Dylan book a couple years ago. We got to do another one.
Nice.
But this one was I did it
I'm
Color
gonna
Net
put this over here.
when they were in West LA. So I brought you each one of those. Those are collector's items. And then this book, you're gonna have to fight over this.
Eric,
Well, it's clearly mine.
Eric can have it if he answers that damn question.
This is. I wanted to actually. We could do a whole show about this
Tool.
book.
If you
'Cause
don't
I
answer
want-
it,
Tool or
hold on, Eric. Go ahead, Eric.
This is a collection of Gary Burden's artwork. Gary Burden designed some of the most iconic album jackets of the 70s. This is Eagles' One of These Nights. There's Joni Mitchell Blue is in here, Crosby, Stills and Nash's first record. And Gary Burden, Morrison Hotel. And each one of these pages has the story of the album cover on here.
That's awesome.
And I got to produce this a long time ago. And that's one of the most fun, challenging projects I ever did. I had to recreate all those album jackets working hand in hand with Gary Burden. And he's a legend in rock and roll. He passed away, unfortunately.
you know the
a couple
day
years
destroys
ago.
the night, night divides the day.
And that's a classic. That's a collector's item, pal.
I say let's hold on to it or frame it and then put it up as decoration. Yeah, you can keep that shit.
But I just took one. I thought if we,
This
I really wanted to do. We could really have a whole discussion about that. It'd be a great show. But we would need to be a little bit more prepared with artwork and getting ready to.
We'll do that. But
because Gary Burden deserves, people to keep talking about him.
cool. Adam, AJ.
Hey, I got one more.
Yeah, okay, go before we say goodnight.
The Eagles or Fleetwood Mac?
Can't do it.
Oh my god.
Can't do it.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac is magic.
But the Eagles sold more.
The Eagles are great, but
Fleetwood Mac was magic.
there's some people behind the Eagles that people don't really know about that you could argue were doing the Eagles thing before the Eagles were doing it.
Okay.
So this is just one of my favorite songwriters and performers is J.D. Souther. And when you listen to his records alongside of the Eagles, and they were all friends, and they were all, as a matter of fact, Glenn Frey of the Eagles and J.D. Souther did a record together before the Eagles. So you could, throw it out there that the Eagles wouldn't be who they are without J.D. Souther. A lot of people don't really know that. Anyway.
We got a couple people saying Fleetwood Mac.
Well,
Yeah, me too. I'm a
Fleetwood Mac is magic.
Lori,
You know.
right on, Lori.
I mean,
All
you
right,
had a
well-
witch in there.
Well, Lori and Lisa.
Hey.
What did I say? Red Hot Chili Peppers or Tool?
Tool.
Hey,
Yeah,
I want
that's
to
tough.
do a shout
That's
out.
tough.
I just noticed Alexander Lawrence said hello, and Alexander has a radio program on Radio KAJW on Fridays at 3 p.m. And this guy has got amazing taste, and it's all new music, and you should listen to the show.
Okay.
It plays at 3 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Sweet.
We're on episode 36, I believe, this week, and Alexander's got amazing taste, and he is tapped into new music like
This is on 365 Live.
Live 365, yeah. You can upload the app on your phone, Live 365. Put it in Google Play or iTunes, however you do it on the iPhone, and get the app, put it on, and then just search Radio KAJW, or you can just put KAJW, and it'll come up, and you can listen to our radio station. We're 24/7 commercial free, and Alexander's show is brilliant. And talk about that, he's a guy that keeps me hopeful about new music. Now, I brought up, I think he's played the Idols. I'm pretty sure he has. He definitely has played Fontaine's DC. So a couple of the bands that I talked to you about tonight have been on his show. Mm-hmm. And he's turned me on to a lot of new music. I'm trying to think of somebody like, not really rock though, a little more alternative kind of folk. Anyway, he's got amazing taste. So I'll tell you this, whenever this rock thing happens, Alexander Lawrence is going to know about it probably before anybody else. This guy is in on it.
I miss being that guy. I was that guy in the 90s. Yeah. I lived up in Hollywood, and I was going to the shows. I saw Tool in front of 120 people.
Yeah, cool.
I saw Rage Against the Machine in front of 100 people. I saw a lot of bands come out of that little
There
thing
was a video that surfaced recently that I saw. I thought it was crazy. It was Rage Against the Machine performing like at a school when they were nobody. Mm-hmm. They only had like, there was a crowd. There was like 20 people, you know, and they weren't really listening. But you had one guy just kind of jamming out, and in my head I'm thinking, wow, like, you're nobody.
Alexander just said Idols. Yes, he has played Idols. They're great. Idols is like authentic punk rock, man. I think they're from UK. London, not Scotland, I don't think. I can't remember offhand.
Well, Eric, Lori said the Peppers.
And
Alexander. I love the Peppers. I have all their albums.
Yeah, we'll pick one.
Alexander just said, I saw Tool.
I can't do it.
I saw Tool on their first album as well.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I saw Pearl Jam.
Because there's such different vibes. Red Hot Chili Peppers were like sex party and let's go, and Tool's like let's get into our minds and get angry about it, you know. And
I'm gonna one up you, bro.
Okay.
I saw Pearl Jam at Club Lingerie in Hollywood.
Club Lingerie!
Their first show in Los Angeles. I was there.
Nice.
Eddie was wearing
a flannel.
Like thrift. No, he was wearing thrift. He had just joined the band and he was wearing thrift shop. Like a jacket. He looked like a bum. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, he was working at a gas station, wasn't he? When what's his name? When they got him to go on Temple of the Dog.
Yeah,
I heard that story or something like that. He was working at a gas station.
No, not Temple of the Dog is after he was in Pearl Jam.
Right.
He was surfing and working at a gas station, and somebody got him. They sent. We just watched Pearl Jam 20, which is a great movie by Cameron Crowe, documentary about Pearl Jam. It's all in there. But I think I don't remember how he got the demo. He got a demo from Mother Love Bone, from Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament, who they lost their singer, Mother Love Bone.
So you're low to heaven.
Yeah, Andrew Wood, if I'm not mistaken, he OD'd. And they got a demo of some music, and Eddie liked it, and he wrote a song. I think maybe like a lot of people, like, you know, they passed it out to a bunch of people, and they got his demo back, and they dug it, and they flew him up to Seattle, and they got together in a room, and it was magic. That's a great movie, PJ-20, Cameron Crowe, great film about the story of Pearl Jam.
Dang. All right, guys. Well, we got to cut it. We're getting late here.
Hey, thanks for all my friends for watching this and chatting along with us.
Yes, and thank you, AJ, for coming on and check out Radio KAJW Live 365. Download the app. It sounds like there's some good stuff going on there. And thanks to Vince for coming on recently. That was crazy. We had a great time. Boy, Vince brings a charged crowd, and we love you guys for coming on and checking our little thing out. Anything else you want to say, Jorge, before we cut it?
Tool or
No, I can't do it. It's not going to happen. I just can't. They're just too different.
I think we had a couple I thought
Oh, no,
somebody
yeah,
said chili peppers.
The Peppers. That was Lori.
Yeah, Lori's
Yeah,
like the peppers. Right on, Lori. Lori, you and I are going to get along just fine.
I take them both. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much. Hey, if you like
Good
what
night,
you see
everybody.
tonight, make sure to subscribe. And thanks for the comments and thanks for participating. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll let you know. We're doing this every night, Wednesday at 8 p.m. You guys, thanks so much.
Peace and love.
You. Peace out.